In this video clip I'm going to talk about the administration block. This is the block that you would probably use most when you're just setting up a course, after which things should be fairly stable. You'll see the first option here is to turn editing on and off. That has the same function as the button over here. Then we look at the settings. Now settings are pretty important, and getting these right makes a big difference to your course, so let's take a look at those. You can change the name of your page, the way it will appear on Moodle here. It's always helpful to have a nice, clear, detailed name. The other bits of information here, we don't use course ID numbers. You can add a summary and a little bit of detail about the course if you want to. Most of the courses that are running in the School of Nursing at the moment are set up in topics format. There are a number of other formats that you can use. The most commonly used other format is the weekly format, which appears very similar to the topics format, only it is set up in weeks dating from the course start date. You can change the number of blocks that appear on your page. For example, just to show you what it looks like, I'm going to change that. Currently, I originally had 10. Let's change that down to 3 and have a quick look at what that does to the page. You see I've dropped down to 3 blocks there. We'll go back into settings and have a look at other things. You can always add more blocks later, it doesn't matter. And the nice thing is if you reduce the number of blocks, you don't lose the information that's sitting in those blocks. Course start date is set by Arian, don't change that. Hidden sections are shown in collapsed form. I prefer to have them completely invisible. When the hidden sections are in collapsed form, students can see that there's something there, they just can't access it and they find it frustrating. The news items, that refers to things in the news forum, and it'll keep a record of the 5 most recent posts. You can change that to whatever you like. Show gradebook to students. I usually set that to no, simply because in the School of Nursing we don't use the gradebook. Activity reports, keep that set to no. You can always go in and access those yourself if you want to. A maximum upload size, 50 megs is always the best because it means you can upload larger videos. And currently none of the School of Nursing courses are meta courses. You wouldn't want to change that anyway. Enrollments and enrollment expiry notification are things that are set for the course administrator, so leave that. Group settings, most courses are set up into groups, and we'll come back to that later. Leave that to separate groups. And the course is not available to students. This is the best setting to have while you are developing a course. You can always change it once you've finished and your course is ready for students to view. I find if you keep the course available to students while you're developing it, students go in and access information that's possibly not quite correct or up to date. Guest access, please do not allow guests into a course at any point. Leave the language. Role renaming is all stuff to do with the Moodle administrator, so you can leave that. And we're going to save those changes. And basically that's all you need to know about the settings at the moment. Assigning roles is how you add and remove people to a course, and there is a separate tutorial on that. Grades is how you access the gradebook. Currently within the School of Nursing we don't use the gradebook. We use Arian to avoid confusion. Outcomes, there are a number of options under outcomes which I'll discuss under a separate tutorial. At the moment we're not using the outcomes function, but if you have a look here you can see there are all sorts of things that you can do, mostly linked to using Moodle for assessment. This is another way to access the groups in a course and how to add groups. Most Moodle courses will have groups for the January and mid-year intakes, and will also have groups for the different years. Backup and reset options are things that are best left untouched. Reset will clear everybody out of a course very quickly, and I suggest you don't ever use it. The reports are very useful. It's a way of having a look and seeing who's been accessing the course. If you have a look here in the last hour, I've done quite a lot on this page. Nobody else has. You can access by different participants. You can access by the groups. There are no groups set up on this course. You can access by the different activities. So if you were wanting to see who was doing a particular quiz or had downloaded the assessment information, something like that, you would go here. And there are a number of different options. So we'll go back to the School of Nursing staff page. Questions refers to the questions that are in the question bank for this course. So as soon as you've set up quizzes and things, you've got a question bank that you can use here, which is a really useful function. Files refers to all the files that are in a Moodle course. It's always a good idea to set up your file directory structure before you start so that you don't end up with a whole lot of stuff all just jumbled in there. And it's also a really good idea to have clear file names for things. You'll see that I was teaching people how to upload images into Moodle, and we've got a lot of file names here that make very little sense. That doesn't tell you what it's going to be. Using the file option is also a really good way of uploading a whole lot of files at once. I'll show you how to do that in a separate tutorial, but basically you can upload a single zip file as long as it's less than 50 megs. If you want to unenroll yourself from a page, you can do so simply by clicking there, and this allows you to edit your profile and do a bit of self-marketing. I've got nothing there at the moment. The important thing to notice here is this little email icon here. If you click on that, you'll disable all emails being sent to this address from Moodle. So it's a very quick way of getting rid of all the forum posts getting emailed to you, but just bear in mind that it does cover all forum posts.